Today we're going to look at adding a logo to a classified line ad. So to begin, we're going to click on Order Entry. And we're going to locate one of our ads. So I already placed an ad earlier today and for whitewater rafting. And I'll go ahead and edit that ad. And I'll click on the ad text box so they can start modifying the way the ad is going to look. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add a logo to the beginning of the ad. So in this case, I'm going to click where I want the logo to appear, right at the very beginning of the ad, right before whitewater. I'll right click, I'll say Insert Logo, and it takes my logo screen comes up where I can pick which logos I have. There's a library of logos that you may have available, so I get a preview on the right hand side as I select them. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick my smiley face. So where's my smiley face? There we go. So here's my little smiley face. I'm going to go ahead and select the smiley face for the ad. And you'll notice right underneath smiley it has a column position, whether it's going to be left justified, center, or right justified. So I'm going to center it in the middle of the ad. The other option I have is the size. So I'm going to go over here to the size of the ad. And right now it's 100% of the image. I'm going to modify this a little bit. I'm going to change it so it's 50% of the column space. So it's not going to take up the full column, it's only going to take up half the column for me. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of a margin around it. You don't always need to add a margin to a logo, but in some cases I like to add it just to make sure I have a little white space between the edge of the logo and the text that wraps around it. And in this case, because it's a smiley face and there's a lot of white space around it, I probably don't need it. But if I had a picture of a house or a car where it was a rectangle, I might need the margin for it. So I find 5 points works really well for setting up a margin. So I'll go ahead and say OK. And we'll see when I added the logo right into the preview of the ad. And in our ad copy, we have a tag for logo, and in the preview, we actually see what the preview is going to look like. And what's really nice about this is that if you notice the image needs to be cleaned up a little bit, you can always send the image to the art department, and as they make the correction to the image, it will automatically be loaded into the ad. You don't have to pull the ad back up to get the new image. So now, this is only 50% of the ad, and it takes up the center, so it looks pretty good. But if I wanted to, I could also wrap the text around it. So I'm going to double click on the word logo, and to modify any of my logo configuration, I want to do is double click on it, and that'll take back to my logo screen. And in here I can set up, change my options if I didn't like the way it looked the first time. So I'm going to left justify this, and I'm going to tell it to wrap the text around it. So when I say OK now, my image is going to go to the left, and now I have my text is being wrapped around it. Now you notice when I did the margins here, my 5 points of margin seems a little bit big for this. It seems like it drew a little bit more space than I needed. So I can actually remove that if I wanted to. So I'm going to double click on my logo and go to my margins, and I'm going to remove the side margins, but I'm going to adjust this. So I'm going to try and shift it up a little bit. Oh, I actually shifted it down. I clicked on the wrong icon. I'm going to go back to margins. I'm going to click on top, and that will shift it up a little bit. There we go. So by clicking on top, it shifted it up a little bit on the ad, and I didn't need the extra margin space there. So that's very quickly how you can add a logo to an ad. And we have one right at the top of the ad, but you can add additional logos if you want. There's no limit to how many logos you can have on the ad. Sometimes I may want to have a logo at the top of the ad, and maybe I want to do something at the bottom. So I'm going to get rid of that carriage return. And what I'll do at the bottom of the ad is I'm going to add in a new today logo. So I'll do my insert logo one more time. I'm going to pick my logo, so pull my list down. I'll say a new today. That's what it's going to look like. I want to center that. And the other thing I want to do is I'll make sure it's 100% of the column, because I want it to span the entire column on the bottom. And for a more information call, and phone number kind of overlaps a little bit there, so I'm going to make sure I hit a carriage return just to make sure I'm not overlapping any of the text that's there. So now I have two logos on the ad, my smiley face at the top and my New Today logo at the bottom.